All right, guys, so I am back with chapter 2 in our Harvest Tales mini-series. And the second prompt that is in this series is Scarecrow. And again, guys, you can check out the other artists that are participating in the Harvest Tales month that was created by a few great artists that are on Instagram. I have them tagged in our first video. And we are going to jump right into our story. I will let you guys know that this is the first time that I have done like a comic strip type of style. So this is new to me, and I am not that good with background, producing background. So it is a work in progress. As again, I have said, this is all practice for next month for our Inktober series that we have coming. I am so excited. I have been working on them and I want to share them with you guys so bad, but I am not yet. I am going to hold on because we are almost in October. I also wanted to say hello to all of the new subscribers that we have. I am so excited about sharing with you guys everything and anything that is art, and anything else that I may have to share. But anyway, let's get into our story, y'all, because I'm not trying to be rambling, all right? So here it goes. The next day swept by and nightfall had come, with Freya wondering if her spell had even worked. As she tended to her plants, giving them each a bit more love with her watering can, Freya decided she would call it a night. I will give it a few more days before trying another, she said to herself. Freya was stricken with determination to cast a spell that would work for her. She locked her doors and went over to her shelf of spell books to choose the one to point her in the right direction. The sound of twigs snapping outside her window caught her attention, and she tiptoed over to peek through the curtains as an eerie feeling crept over her. She felt like someone was near. She could feel it in her bones, literally. As soon as she closed the curtains and walked back to her shelf, her door burst open and Freya cried out in fear. She couldn't believe her eyes. In her doorway stood a looming figure, inching closer to her with every staggering step it took. Freya tried to think of the first spell that could come to mind to protect her, but nothing came. She panicked as it grew closer and stepped into the light. Freya squinted as she tried to make out what stood in front of her. It looked to be a scarecrow, but in real male form. His muscular build peeped through the dirty, torn shirt he wore. There were grotesque, sloppy stitching that covered his grayish body as if someone had sewn him together carelessly by hand. His hair was stiff as straw and a strange yellowish tint, but when Freya's eyes met his, a magical magnetic force took over them both. Under all of the frightening scars was a beautiful creature created especially for her. The scarecrow grew close enough to pull her close, and Freya wrapped her arms around him, completely taken under her own spell. His body was chiseled perfectly for a scarecrow, with abs, and he even had a nice butt. Freya washed him and gave him a pair of her oversized My Little Pony pajama pants to put on. They were a bit snug and a little too pink, but they would have to do. Freya sat him on the sofa beside her, and she smiled at him. The bath had done Vendith some good. His gray skin was a few shades lighter, and his face, though still grotesque, looked clearer and, in Freya's mind, more gorgeous than ever. His eyes, Freya thought to herself. How had she not noticed how blue they were? She ran her fingers through his damp hair. I can't believe you're here, she murmured. She and Vendith talked for hours until they fell asleep in each other's arms. Vendith listened to Freya share her life with him. In his case, he had little to share himself other than a hazy, faraway memory of living on a farm where he grew corn with his father. They were awakened by a knock on the door early the next morning. Freya jumped up startled from her sleep. Vendith moved towards the door in a flash and let out a low growl. Calm down. It's only my friend Laura coming to torment me, I'm sure, Freya said, rolling her eyes. Laura would never believe her spell worked, and she couldn't wait to rub it in her face. Just as she reached for the doorknob, Vendith caught her hand. You must tell no one of my existence. His eyes cast down to the floor. It's not safe yet. Freya frowned in confusion. What's not safe? Laura pounded on the door again, yelling out Freya's name. Trust me, you don't want to deal with the wrath of the beast. Please, my love, tell no one. The fear in Vendeeth's crystal blue eyes troubled Freya, and she could not jeopardize losing Vendeeth. No one, she assured him. Vendeeth disappeared into her room in seconds. She opened the door and stepped outside onto her porch. It was a beautiful day with a brisk wind that smelled like Freya's favorite time of year, fall. Pretty early to be dragging your feet over here, don't you think? Freya teased, pulling Laura to her porch swing. She needed her as far away from the door as possible. Well, remember, we do have a spell to conjure up for class tomorrow, and we haven't even started. I refuse to listen to Miss Arganworth's screechy nagging. Laura cringed. It's nippy out. Let's go inside. It's a bit stale smelling inside from a few rotten ingredients. Want me to grab a blanket? Freya asked. She wasn't the best liar and prayed Laura couldn't tell. No, that's okay. I just wanted to see when you were coming over so we can get to it. I'll finish some cleaning and be right over, Freya replied, relieved. See you in a few. Laura stood up and started walking quickly to her small cottage across the street. And don't forget, or I'll be back, she hollered over her shoulder. Promise, Freya smiled. She definitely didn't need that. Miles away in that same old cornfield where Vendeeth had been birthed stood a hooded figure. The wooden cross that had once held Vendeeth's scarecrow body lit on fire and crumbled to the ground. I will find you. To be continued. All right, guys, so that is the second part of our little mini series that we have going here. I am actually going to do 2 videos on Laura and one on Vendeeth because I just sort of want to get more into their characters as well, because there's only 2 more parts to our series, and I definitely want to just get you more in depth with the both of them. I was really satisfied with how, first of all, I don't draw men that much, and so I am just really excited with how Vendeeth came out. I wanted him to be like sort of handsome but ugly at the same time, and I feel like I sort of really got that portrayed in his pictures. I gave him like a Frankenstein type of vibe, but also Scarecrow. So I did like how he came out. So I'm going to go more into their characters, but you guys let me know how you guys have been feeling about the story so far. And I am going to let you guys enjoy the rest of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.